I got a girl, Lex, in my hair. So last video, I hope you got a lot out of it. And here's my 2 cents, or at least additional 2 cents, of how I believe that we can start making small changes when it comes to the education system. And this one can go anywhere from the K to 12 system to universities. When it comes to what we teach kids, I think we need to take what they need, one, from an economic perspective, two, from a parenting or social, social, I guess, survival, right? So there's the economic side, there's the, dealing with the world from a personal development perspective. And then you have to think about, as a whole, what does a child need? So then it comes down to, what do I need to do as a parent? Because the government is going to give you the basics. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to make up the difference. So the government, in terms of educating your child, is giving them what they need to make sure the government keeps going at the end of the day, where they can afford to get a basic job, right? So this is why private education isn't the same cost as the public or any others out there. And the question becomes, why are some so expensive? Just like healthcare, why are some schools are so expensive, some not so much? But yet economically, what you get out of them is pretty much the same, except when you take into account the network, as they're referring to. Your net worth determines who's around you, the network you come from. So I think, whether you went to Harvard, or you're going to Harvard, or you're going to, what's another school? UDC, for example, right? UDC, University of District of Columbia. The difference in terms of where you end up in life, so many studies have shown, is that it's not necessarily the school, but the network that you pay for, which is ultimately your net worth, right? That doesn't mean the person who went to Harvard is smarter than you, they're better than you. It's just that they were able to at least pay for a net worth they could afford to. And of course, I'm sure there's more that goes into it. When I came to DC, the school that I graduated from, which is American University, wasn't the school that I applied to, right? I applied to a different school which rejected me with my high GPA, but told me that I didn't have enough AP classes. But I ended up nonetheless graduated from a decent school, which I'm grateful for. And yes, I had help to get there. Again, that came with a price too. That's a whole nother topic. So ultimately, I think the actions that we take in terms of what we can do next, or what this pandemic is teaching us that we can provide for our kids, is that we, as educators, as parents, or whatever you identify as, because I know so many people who are taking care of kids who are not the parent of these kids, but they're more than parents to those kids than the actual parents who have them. So I'm grateful for you out there. Nonetheless, I think one of the things that we can do to really make sure kids get the best out of the education system moving forward is making sure, one, they get the basics, or at least the best that they can. The kids don't need to go through science, history, all that stuff throughout their life, and then coming out of school not being able to just understand some common sense relationship development, communication, the basic stuff that really gets you out there in the world. And I think we need to start redefine what is important. What do we teach our kids? And I'm not saying, whatever your kid is learning. Again, I'm a big fan of STEM. And even with that, I have my other issues with it too, because to me, the science is of of a child is not necessarily what is what we identify as the science subject. I think the science is that child, and how do you help that child decide or discover the science of who they are is the most important thing. Not some. I mean, granted, stars are important and all that stuff, but I think the science of the STEM, when you think of science, technology, engineering, and math, science is that child. Help that child understand who they are as an individual, and then take it out there. But I don't think we do that. But these are some things I think we can do moving forward. Let's change what exactly a child, I mean, clearly a child is going to learn a lot, but in terms of the system, what the system provides, making sure basic things from an economic perspective, communications, economics, now that's a whole different topic because that economics needs to make sense, right? And then so many other things. I think these are some areas we need to start looking into. What do we give kids in school? And I don't think we have to wait on the government to do that. Parents, the school system do have some the administrators do have some power in terms of how that stuff is delivered. Because if you're teaching the kids math, that math later makes no sense if they can't connect to it. So start with time management, making sure they know how much it costs. So, start, business is what's out there. And so again, the science, the STEM is that child. From a number perspective, from a time management, from an emotional development, from a, anything else is within that child. How do you help that child discover this STEM within them to live the life that, at least the basic that you can provide them? Because ultimately they're going to have to go through experience in life. But how do you prepare them for the world out there? Giving them what's necessary, not all that nonsense that they're learning in school. Again, I'm not saying whatever kids are learning in school is not important, but a lot of it doesn't make sense to the world out there that they're going to have to face. So what role do we play as people in that? That's really, I think, one area I think that's essential. Not just providing, but yet providing what is necessary. Because we know that. We know what's out there. I mean, we've gone through some changing. It's clearly, if you haven't gotten that, well, wake up. But anyhow, got a girl, get your gut out. Next video, stay tuned. Cheers.